filmmakers, content creators, welcome to Film Hustlers.
There we go. I like that. That's a
different
new
intro.
one.
That's a new intro.
I didn't know where you were going with that. That was pretty good.
Well, nice to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
Congratulations. Dave's not here today, but it's okay. He's busy, man. He's like a comedian. He's a producer. He's an actor.
Before he had all this free time. Now it's like
he's doing it all. I appreciate that. Like if he flies the coop, then so
and he's
be
Lopez's assistant, which is even harder.
Even harder.
He's
a hustler.
He is a
hustler.
Well, today on Film Hustlers, we have a very special guest.
The best.
Usually, the most listens to her episodes all the time. It's Ann Lewis Roberts.
There we go.
As ALR.
Oh, I'm so grateful
Soon to be
here.
possible co-host or host if you keep it up, Roberts.
I know. I gotta stay on my toes. No, but I appreciate you being here. I think it's really important to talk about what's going on in the business. A lot of people want to know what's happening. A lot of people don't know. I don't think we even know. But we'll try to shed some light. I want to thank our sponsor and our partner, Russ Emanuel, over at extrememusic.com for being the best platform in the business. Yeah, they're amazing. And I mean, you can't say enough about their music. It's funny because I used a song on Carlos Almaraz. This is a long time ago, right? This is like 2019 or 18. But anyway, my point is that I used a song in the car crash version of that. And it might have been Richard Montoya who picked it, but or Rich Alarcon, not sure, but they picked it, and it's this great song. And now we hear it on commercials all the time. Like you're
really?
like, oh, that's the song from Extreme Music, yeah. So it's a great song. It's like a violin song. If you heard it, you'd be like, oh, I know that song. Yeah. But that's how much they license it. So extrememusic.com for all your music needs. I wanted to talk about them at the top of the show now instead of at the end.
I love them.
Yeah, I love them.
And it doesn't have to just be for films. It could be for like short form content.
You know what I mean? Your
like,
podcast.
Yeah, even like these mobisodes, verticals,
absolutely.
Anything that needs music, sound design, even. You like to pull stems out.
Hey, you did your movie, and Joel made a deal for you for extrememusic.com, right?
Great
a lot
deal,
of that, yeah. So, and that was a great deal. So that's one thing to consider. If you don't have a composer, don't have money for great music for your movie or your television show or whatever, go to extrememusic.com. They'll make a good deal for you. But let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's start talking about what people are doing in the business and how people are trying to get their gigs these days. I want a little history on Ann, and we did have her on an earlier show way at the beginning, first season, I think.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear about her entire career, just go back to that. But right now, I'll tell you, she started as an intern at Entertainment Tonight, spent 9 years there. Yeah. And became senior producer of that show, went on to launch Access Hollywood, went from there to be a executive at E! Entertainment Television. I think the Kardashians were knocking on doors around there when you were there, so that's interesting. And then she went and spent a decade at Disney, working at ABC and SoapNet and all those great networks. So she's had an amazing career. She's also produced amazing shows like Decorating Disney, Disney weddings all over the world. So, I mean, this is an important episode because I think you've sort of done it all in terms of how you've gotten there. And do you think that anybody today could do it the way you did it?
The whole world of entertainment has changed absolutely since I started. I think all the platforms are different and the way that we consume is different, but the simple getting in the door is always going to be the same. Like my internship got me in the door and I was able to look around and figure out what I wanted to do, and I think that's always going to be the same. So I still say to this day, like, get in the door by hook or by crook, however you need to get in, whether it's through an internship or through a friend or through even a volunteered situation, although there isn't a lot of volunteer situations anymore. I think even internships you're paid. Just get in the door and do something.
Is there other types of internships that people should be looking at?
Yes, and I think the Entertainment Tonights and Access Hollywoods are always going to stay around as really great opportunities for marketing and promotion for shows at that network, but the staff is probably a fourth an eighth of what they were back
That's
in the
crazy.
day. Yeah. And they shoot differently. There's less packages. There's less talent going out, all that. So that just means there's less bodies there. So yeah, there's less opportunity there. But I think that there is more opportunity because there's more distribution platforms than ever. So you could get in at a YouTube, cutting shorts. You could be a Predator, which is a producer editor. You can start on your own phone, which we couldn't do back in the day. You had to go in and learn everything when you walked in the door. Like, I didn't know one thing because school doesn't necessarily prepare you for what's really going on in the world. And now I think kids are cutting everything on their phones. So like, you already are a producer editor if you live in the year 2026 because you're presenting yourself, you're presenting your content, which is you already know how to do it. So I think if you can get skills where you're editing or you're coming up with content, you can get in the door. I think the other thing that's really interesting is that brands are now becoming places to make content. So I think if you could not just look at the YouTubes or the ABC or the Netflix, look at brands and what they have on their YouTube channels and what they have on their Instagrams, and look at those as jobs because you could go in and cut for a brand. I think I told a story about Maybelline, that Maybelline did a deal with SNL and used their writers, and they came up with ideas and then went back and Maybelline did it with their Instagrammers and their influencers. So, I mean, brands are doing it at the highest level. I would look around at brands, and I would look around at sports. Sports is bigger than ever. I think we all saw what happened on with the ratings for the Olympics, the ratings for the Super Bowl, and sports is bigger than ever. Women's basketball. I mean, there's coverage of team sports at a local level. I don't know. I would get into sports if I could.
Well, did you see Dick's? I don't know if you guys saw this. Dick's Sporting Goods, which is a huge multi-million-dollar company. They had a listing. I think they were looking for maybe 500 creators, and they had over 10,000 applicants, and that's all types of applicants. That's just not like, Instagram creators. It was everybody from television, film creators and they only had 500 positions, I think. But they're doing everything. They're doing films, they're doing series, they're doing social. They're their own studio. And if you think about it, look at their reach, and what they're worth. So it's pretty crazy how like brands now are becoming studios, or people for that matter. Iron Lung, you guys saw that movie or heard about it? That guy's a YouTuber. He made that movie for $2 or $3 million. It made 21 the opening weekend. He had the biggest distribution deal without using a distribution company. He just had his subscribers reach out to various theater chains.
Wow.
And email them. And one of them said that they only got 30 emails saying, you guys should put Iron Lung in your theater. And so they did. And the guy is his own studio, essentially, right?
That's amazing.
That's wild.
It is.
I love that happened because I think theaters, you're right. I think theaters are open to any business that's going to get people in the door.
It's not even movies. Did you guys hear micro-influencers are just as impactful as huge celebrities? Because a lot of times with celebrities, people know now that they don't probably use they're being paid. So it's not like when they endorse something, their following sees it, but they're not there to buy their product. They're there to see that person, see their life, see whatever they do. They're not there for the product. So micro-influencers are more likely to use the product, they say.
That's cool.
If you send me something and I have, 5,000 followers, I'm going to use that product, and I'm going to genuinely post about it and be excited about it. You can give me a little bit of money, which is going to be helpful, not a lot. You're not paying hundreds of thousands to a celebrity. You might give me 500, $1,000. I'll be excited, and I'll be excited about your product, and my 5,000 followers aren't really they're my followers, but they're not like looking at me for a certain thing, right? So they'll say like, oh, you really like that product? Let's look into it. So micro-influencers, they're saying are just as important, if not more important now, than big influencers.
And you're doing some of that, aren't you?
I have, but
with Caldera?
With Caldera Lab, yeah. They partnered with me, and I was able to do some stuff with them, and You know,
I like those things.
Yeah.
I've been following this gal for a couple of years, probably pandemic-y, and her thing was she was super cute. She wore a ton of jewelry, and she would wake up every morning and she would just be wearing all those chains. Like, you know how that's such a deal where you layer all the chains in her underwear, and she would get up and she'd be like, I have to figure out how to survive the pandemic because I am so depressed. So I'm going to get dressed in a cool outfit every single day, and you guys are going to do it with me. And I started watching her back then. She was not hooked up with any brands at all. Her thing was just like, I'm getting up, I'm getting dressed, and she would get on her underwear so it would catch your eye and her big chains. And then at some point she was like, I'm only going to do Amazon. I'm going to only shop from Amazon because we're all trying to save our money because nobody's at work. And I did not feel grossed out by her because I was like, you know what? She's probably trying to get dressed on Amazon. And she would put on a cute outfit and she'd be like, this is Amazon, the $11, $30. And I was in, and now she's a huge talent. And I saw her literally on a morning show the other day.
Yeah.
And all I could think to myself is, she's not my girl anymore.
Yeah.
You know, she's not going to give me advice that a normal person would give me. And it made me sad because I like her and I'm really happy for what she did. But the next time I saw her doing an ad, she was doing an ad for those Grummies. Okay. You know, those gummy bears that every celebrity's doing. And I'm like, oh, if everybody else is getting paid $10,000 to say Grummies, then she cop. So it's interesting because I hear all the brands say to me, like, we need it to feel authentic. We need it to feel native. We want to be in the background because we don't want to be too overt. Again, all the stuff we're talking about, someone makes this stuff. They make the native stuff. They make the big things. And I think if you're creating at a smaller level, whether you're doing it on your own site or you're doing it for somebody, if you're good at it, someone notices you and they bring you up to the big leagues. Just in the same way when I was an intern and I was cutting little teeny pieces and somebody said, oh, Joe called in sick. Do you want to come up to the big leagues? I did. That's how I moved up the ranks, is people would call in sick and I was there. Yeah. So be there, already do your thing and be there, and you will get noticed and you'll push your way through the door and you'll go through it. Practice what you want to do in some way so that you could be noticed.
Yeah, inconsistency. Like you were saying, that girl, she just started filming herself every day. She was consistent. She had nothing else to do, right? That's usually how it goes. A lot of times we're fearful. Like I watch Steinhauer, who's Mario's social guy. I watch him shoot Mario stuff, and it's to the point where like he's shooting real quick. You know what I mean? He's doing this, he's doing that, and then I see his pieces, and they're great. So I train him boxing every Friday. So he's like kind of helping me. He does all those cuts on his phone on this app called CapCut.
Yeah. And
he's like, oh no, it's super easy. You just dropping these in, and he's showing me, and I go, and that's all you do? He's like, yeah. And those get like, he's gotten Lopez when he got him, I think had like 1.1 million. He's at 3 million now.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Steinhauer, he works for an agency. He's a younger kid. Well, now he says he's an unk. They call him an unk, which is like, because he's over 25. I was like, if you're an unk, then I'm my granddad then, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, dude, you're way old. But you just can't be fearful, because I overthink it. I'm like, oh, I got to do that. How do I do this? He said, you just do it. There's just go and do it. Try it. See if it works. If it works, great. Be consistent with it. There's one, not to deviate, but there's one. Have you guys seen? It's so bad. It's so funny though. A guy goes around and he goes poop in different places, and he talks about it. But his voiceover is so funny. It's like, come with me while I go to Tiffany's and drop a big load.
Oh,
and
my
he does
God.
like a graphic, and then he walks in like it's all beautifully shot. Looks like a Christmas movie because he's outside and he puts like this the stars and stuff, and then he goes in. He goes, it's such a nice feel in here, and the tile is really nice. The marble, look at the fixtures are gold and they're really nice, and they have that soft 2-ply. This is going to be amazing. The hand dryers are really nice, and it's so funny. And he's walking you through. Guess what? Got hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, that's funny.
Masa even sent it to me. I saw it and I started laughing because I was looking at different types of formats, right? And so that one popped up because of that type of format where he goes in, he sets it up, and he goes in and he executes. because I have an idea for doing some hair products, and I wanted to kind of follow that lead. And so coincidentally, like I saw that and I laughed, but I was like, whatever. And Masa sent it to Mario, and I was like, Mario, you got to start doing these. These are hilarious. And I was like, there we go.
That's funny.
You know?
Yeah.
But he started out small, and now he has, because I remember seeing him, maybe he had 25,000. Now he's like at 200 and something.
Hey, unique content, right?
It's super
content.
unique.
And
It's
not
awful.
everybody can do that. Not everybody is that clever.
Right.
And that's why I think like you got to look at the Dicks. 500 people, you got to look at the regular ways to get in, and then if you are a sassy pants, you should do those things. Like that's not the only way in is
No.
Poop Guy.
Yeah.
Well,
no, but it's clever.
extraordinary
Let's-
to be clever and have the balls to put it out
Yeah,
there.
let's talk about Mr. Beast for a second. Like Mr. Beast, I just saw him. You and I both saw him on David Letterman's show on Netflix. You know, he started off by just trying stuff. You know,
He didn't hit for like I forget how many videos he said he posted.
Yeah, he
before.
said he
like 4 or
posted a
5
bunch.
years actually.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
He started when he was a little
The
kid.
one he hit most with at the beginning was one where he counted backwards from 100,000 or something like that, or to 100,000. He just sat there for 4 days and counted to
I
100,000.
remember Cash watching that when Cash was little.
Yeah, and now he's a multimillionaire. But what's interesting about
Have you watched any of his programs? His new programs? His shows?
they're big. They're almost like game shows, big
Yeah.
huge game shows.
But they're quick.
And they're quick, yeah. But he built the Willy Wonka chocolate factory apparently on one of his YouTube programs he does. And after it was over, he was like, well, I guess I have a chocolate company. So he started selling chocolate, and apparently like that is a big, huge moneymaker for him. I mean, I think he said he sells 200,000 candy bars a year.
Wow.
And now he's in like all the CVS's and in all
Yeah.
the Targets, and that turned into a business. He's like, I didn't realize that was going to be a business for me, but apparently
Branding.
it's a really big business for me.
Yeah.
So
He has beef jerky too. I
he
saw
has
that
jerky,
in Ralph's. Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting thing about our business.
Beast jerky.
Beast
Beast
jerky.
jerky. I don't think you would have said that 20 years ago,
No.
that was even possible, that you create all these businesses out of your content that you're creating.
And a huge executive who oversaw all of the NBC Universal unscripted programming got poached by Mr. Beef, Corey Henson, and she now oversees his entire media
No
company.
way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
She used to oversee all unscripted here
Yeah.
a year and a half ago.
So he went from like he started off at doing his thing and then like you said, Cash watching him. I go to Mario's house and I watch Sonny's on his iPad, and I watch the stuff that he watches because I want to see, and it's the most ridiculous stuff.
How old is Sonny?
Sonny is 4 or 5, but Dominic and them, they all watch the same thing. But the programming is 2 guys like banging on a hammer hitting the phone. And they look at the camera, it won't break. And they keep, it broke. And Sonny's cracking up. And I'm like, I'm watching him watching him. And he's like, that broke the phone, and then they'll get something else. And they get like a sledgehammer and they hit it. Oh, it broke, and that's it. And I look at the numbers, and it's millions.
Yeah.
It's in the tens of millions. But Mr. Beast, he kept rising, and then he ends up getting big enough where he could have this big executive pay her well, because his shows are well produced. I watched them on a plane, like that game show that he does.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Beast
There's no
Games.
build up. It
It's
just
good.
goes straight
Yeah.
in.
And he was smart enough to know, like, hey, I'm in another world now, and I
need
want to do
somebody.
that the best that I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to say one thing about getting in the door. I would say podcasts are now getting in the door for talk shows.
Yeah.
Influencers are getting in the door to be an actor or a comedian or a on-camera person. I mean, those are all the ways that people used to do it. People used to be on reality shows, the Kelly Clarksons, the Carrie Underwoods. By hook or by crook, if you're talented on camera, you're going to get there. You just have to be consistent. You just have to do it. And the same thing with creating. If you want to produce, if you want to make a film, if you want to make some music, you just got to do it. And there's more platforms than ever to do it.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
yes.
we're getting cameras.
Yeah,
Did you know
no.
that? We're getting cameras?
Oh, thank God.
No, we're getting,
You
yes,
have to
right.
have
Hang on.
I've been trying to get these
Hang on,
guys
hang
for
on.
a year to do it, and they don't
Thank
want.
God.
It's like pulling
It's just-
teeth.
It's ridiculous.
It's like getting
not
my kids to
have
take
it.
showers at
Yeah,
night. I'm like,
start
go.
a YouTube channel, but with video podcast. I told him for a year.
So
Thank you.
Mr. Beast succeeded in his quest to get people to view him and for his shows to be popular, and then he unknowingly branched out with chocolate, and now it's a huge business for him. So it's interesting to look at if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, why should I do this? Well, a lot of things end up working out because you didn't know it was going to work out. So I think that's super interesting about YouTube and about Mr. Beast and about all that. He's in an area where, I don't know, where it's not about film or selling to a festival or selling to a network or selling to a studio. He's creating something new, and I think all of us should think about that.
And I think his biggest seller is T-shirts and trucker hats.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Really? See, I didn't even know that.
That's amazing.
Most influencers, their biggest thing is T-shirts.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's easy to buy, and it's a little unique thing. If you're a super fan or if you're part of the fandom,
Yeah.
you wear the T-shirt, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're part of the club."
Yeah.
So Anne had on Cleopatra the other day, and it's a docuseries, a hybrid docuseries. So it's acting and then experts talking about the books that were written about Cleopatra and what they know of her, and then you have acting coming in, right? And it was fascinating. So then I found another one. It was about Alexander the Great, and it was really big. It was so big that I was like, how did they do this? So I looked it up, and they shot all of it in Morocco. All of it in Morocco on sets that looked like Egypt. And
It was beautiful.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a new way of doing documentaries where you have acting at the very high level acting, and you have experts, writers who've written books about Alexander the Great, and they're following that and telling the story while you're seeing him do the stuff.
Is this all AI or is it like
No,
live action?
it's not AI.
Yeah.
It's not shot on a screen. Anyway, so my point is like I watched something like that, and I think someone had to come up with that hybrid way of doing it.
Yeah.
Someone had to try it for the first time, and then now people are perfecting it to the point where it's like very difficult not to watch it.
Well,
I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think I told you AMC started doing them where it was like the making of the mob, and then they just did the making of certain things, and it was half and half.
Yeah, it's like reenactment, but there's
Yes.
dialogue in it. It's the production value is just not there. Like
It
you know
has,
what I
to
mean?
start, it has to start somewhere. Like not only did I watch Alexander and Cleopatra, I watched the story of Moses, shot in the very same way by the same company.
Yeah.
And it was the most entertaining thing I've seen in a long time.
He
And-
literally was like, I have to go upstairs and watch Moses.
So,
Yeah.
so let me ask, does it pull you in the story? Like it's a film, so you get locked in for 10, 15 minutes, and then it segues into like a historian, sitting there talking about it, and then you keep going in the story?
Well, they've figured out how to shoot it in a way that they say, and then Moses did this, and you see Moses looking over, or the slaves or whatever, and it's a combination of the very compelling experts about Moses and the Bible, and then you see and you have them voicing over it while he's doing what he's doing, and then he does some acting, and those actors are actually quite good. The directing's quite good. It's the music's amazing, and I was like, this is something I've never seen before.
The historians actually validate it because I think we've all heard the stories of Moses. It was really interesting because he tells you he was like, and Moses did all these things, but he was still an angry man, and so Moses didn't get to go to the promised land. And I was like, I'm Catholic. I went 12 years Catholic school, so did my kids. I was like, that's not what happened. And I looked it up, and then the guy was explaining it. I was Wikipediaing it, and I was like, get the hell out of here. So I think the historians help you realize a different level of the story and they believe it, whether you believe it or not. The historians are like, no, this is really Mount Sinai. This is what happened. So it's almost like somebody explaining aliens to you while you're watching like E.T.
Someone had to come up with that, and now they've made it into such an entertaining medium. So I can't wait to see the next whatever they do.
Well, that's why documentaries are so great. That's why I love them, because they're true stories. Same with live action films. They're all true stories, right? Those are the ones that are really compelled to. But a documentary, you watch it because it's real, and there's no like romanticizing or turning it into something. I don't want to say there's no vision, but there's no like creative liberty. It is what it is, and that's what happens. That's why you want to see it. But this is like a hybrid, which is kind of cool. So you get that live action, you get that production value with these actors performing, and you feel like you're there, and then you get the truth of what it really is like.
Yeah, it was amazing. But anyway, it made me think that there's still a lot of areas to create new and innovative ways of telling stories that is going to capture an audience, or you can do it vertically. I mean, look, I think everything's on the table, and as people continue to succeed in this business, and we were talking earlier about producer Patrick and all these guys that are telling you what's happening, and I think you should know, and all those kinds of like doomsday sort of things. It's the opposite. And by the way, we proved it on the show. We're talking about Mr. Beast. We're talking about documentaries. We're talking about all of these things that are innovating right now, changing the way people play the game. Yeah. And a lot of people want you to think that the way it was being played and what's happening now is unfair to how things are, and it's not. It's the future.
But do you think, with that said, like this, I think social media in general plays on that. Because remember, like, I don't know, like if you think about, like even politics, not to go there, but remember, like the end of the world is coming. Like next month, everything's going to be broke. Like there's always a black cloud on social media. Have you ever noticed that? And it's just in our business too. But there's also a flip side of that. There's one guy who's always talking about like the golden age. This is it for creators. This is our moment. For the independent filmmaker, your budgets are going to be small, under $5 million. You know what I mean? Where you wanted to make that movie you had your budget set at 10 to 15, you're going to do it for $5 if you get it. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of money, as we know. But my point being is like there's so much room for growth, like we're talking about, whether it be partnering with Dick's or a brand or Maybelline or doing just waking up every morning in your chonies and saying, I'm going to get dressed on Amazon. And then next thing you know, you become something. Producer Patrick, he was woe is me every day. And guess what? He's got a great job now in Dubai where he's like this film like a supervisor or whatever he's doing over there. So his little videos that he was just informing us about after a year got him a big job. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah, good for him. Do you have to have a plan for YouTube? Like, is there something that you can do to make what you're putting on there more valuable to sponsors and to people like that? Like, how do you do it?
Well, there's bootstrapping it, where you go and think that what you have to offer, whether that's comedy or music, is valuable. And then that's back to that post every day, put something up every day. But there's also people who own content, a huge library of content. If you own it, whether it's 10 series of Container Wars, you can put that up on YouTube for the people who watch YouTube. And then you can also do a fast channel with it for people who watch fast channels. You could do a video podcast on YouTube. They're really getting into that more and more. And that's your talk show. So you could show off your talk show skills. So I think that 50% of the streaming viewing is on YouTube. It's undeniable. I just read before I came in here that somebody is producing a film for YouTube. They used to have YouTube Originals, and that
YouTube Red, right?
Yeah, that one. That was that really good Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And they want to get more. I've done some stuff with Google leadership and YouTube leadership, and they do want to do more films. But you got to come up with the film. They're not going to fund it for you, but it is an incredible platform. It's 50%. It's 50%.
And I would say, like, if you're a writer or you're a director or even a producer, I think you have to get young writers that are great, that are willing to write the script so that you can go in with a piece of property, because pitches are very difficult to sell these days,
And it's different than somebody who used to write for an amazing show like, Frasier or, for back in the day. Like, it's a different beast, right? It's shorter. So it is worth going to somebody who's young and who grew up watching YouTube, because it's a different cadence than what we grew up with, right? Yeah. Traditional sitcoms and dramas. It is different. So I think people are looking for the young generation to break through and partner with them, because they know that it's a different beast.
Yeah, and I think if you are a filmmaker that has some experience, if, like Ann was saying, if you're an editor, you're a director, you're a writer, if you kind of do it all, the cable networks are looking for lower budgeted films, and if you can do a lot for $1 million, $750,000, $1.2 million, I think budgets are going to be coming down until cable disappears. So that, that real estate is going to be prime for filmmakers that can get stuff done within the box that, like, let's say a Lifetime is, or a, Great American is, or A&E, whatever network it is that's on cable, you could find a home there if you're able to make it for a price and make it easy for them because it fits what they're doing. It fits their audience.
Yep.
But before we go, I want to talk about Tootie, because you're kicking ass, and not only you're getting acting jobs, you had Beautiful Darkness, which did extremely well, but now you have raised money for a new series, and tell us about that.
So, one of my favorite shows on Instagram, and too, Brooklyn Coffee Shop. So well,
I love that show.
Yeah, clever, well written, super quick, super easy. Was kind of like my inspiration, and so I created this character called Pruno Perez. Pruno is prison wine.
What?
Yeah, and so I'll give you the quick pitch. He gets out of prison, Pruno Perez, and he doesn't want to go back, and all he knows is how to make wine, but he knows how to make prison wine, which is just fermenting apple cores, and so he decides he's going to be a sommelier, gets his sommelier certificate. Nobody will hire him. He's a hood. But he's knowledgeable. So then he decides he wants his own vineyard called Chateau de Gâteau. So he partners with this drug dealer, and they find this crack house that's on a big piece of land, a great soil. They burn it down. They build a vineyard.
Oh my God.
Chateau de Gâteau, and he starts making wine. No one will buy it because he's a hood. He doesn't fit the profile, right? Partners with this guy in the hood, Gus, who owns this liquor store, and the show, that's where we find Pruno. He's in this liquor store. He gets one shelf. He's got 3 wines, a red, a rosé, and a blanco
that he
makes at Chateau de Gâteau. And when people come in, he's there to sell them his wine, because he also owes the drug dealer money, right? Because it's a partnership.
So when I go in to buy my 6-pack of Modelo, what does he say?
He comes over to you and he wants to know why you're buying that, and you say, well, because it's hot and I'm thirsty. He goes, have you tried this nice rosé? And you say, no, it's very floral. It's a dry rosé. It's not too sweet. You're gonna like that, especially on this hot day. And if you pair it with these chicharrones, your palate becomes over. And so he knows his stuff, but he just doesn't look the part. And so then you, being paisa with your 6-pack of Modelos and your flaming hot Cheetos, you're gonna be like, wait a minute. In Pruno's goal, he's got to make his money because he's got to pay the drug dealer back, right? It's a thing. So he has to sell wine, and of course he convinces you. And it's just different people.
Would it pair good with these sour, spicy gummies?
It probably could. He could figure out a way to, well, then you would probably want to go with the Blanco or the Güero, as he calls it.
Well, that's very fun. And that's going to be like 8 episodes. It's going to be a vertical.
We got finance for 8. It's going to be a vertical.
Great. That's awesome.
Who's going to star in it?
Talked to Concrete, my guy. Pitched it to him.
Great comedian.
Concrete,
great actor.
The comedian, yep. And he loved the idea. So,
wow.
Yep. And so it looks like it's a go.
Keep us
That's
posted.
what I love
amazing.
about this podcast is you two guys are always coming up with interesting ways in, and
you have to.
You got to. I'm sure that is fueling all the people who listen to this podcast and download it.
Davey's playing Gus too.
Yeah,
he owns the liquor store, and he's also producing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Wait, I have one more suggestion. Is that I learned from the Google folks is cut down everything. Do YouTube shorts, do cut downs and put it on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever. So whatever you're doing, just do the cut down 30-second version of it and put it on every other social platform to point back to your own thing. And so, because it's so weird, but some people only watch TikTok. Some people only are the gram.
Yeah.
So always do a cut down, try and get those to go viral. Put it on every single platform and get them wherever you can find them.
Smart.
Yeah.
Keep making your movies, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, put it wherever you can put it. And, maybe you'll make some contacts that'll get you to the next level. I mean, clearly, Anne being here today will prove to you that you can, go from an intern to the top job in a business, at a network. So it's pretty impressive. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Keep showing up.
We'll see you next. Keep showing up.
Thank you, Anne. Always a pleasure.
And we'll talk to you next time on Film Hustlers.